Welcome back, everybody. So today, you guys have seen me film lots of videos in this shop, and a lot of you have probably noticed that it doesn't look the greatest in here, especially on these walls. I did just take all the flags down, but there's lots of holes in the walls. Just the paint's super poor, looks absolutely terrible. Things are just kind of filthy. I mean, you can see up here, everything's just kind of peeling. And there's like random pegboard hung up back there. Same with back over there. Just doesn't look quite that great. Same with this kind of cabinet shelf thing. I'm gonna get rid of that. So basically what we're doing today is we're going through and we're going to kind of get the walls all prepped for paint, and we're going to be painting everything. And then once everything goes back up, gonna be some new shelves, new type of stuff all in here. Make it look a lot better for filming videos in here too. With that, we're gonna go ahead and get into pulling all this stuff off the walls, getting everything pulled back, so that way we can get to painting. Well, it's day 2 here. We made quite a bit of progress yesterday. Most of the day was spent just kind of, as you can see, grabbing everything off of the shelves, off of the walls, and putting it all into one big pile. So that whole side of the shop is pretty much wrecked with just stuff. Whole center part is pretty much trashed. But as you can see, we did make some progress with paint here. We got our center stripe laid down. Probably looks a little bit yellow in the video, but it's actually kind of a greenish yellow. It basically mirrors the Manta green color that is on my sled. I really like that color of green, so I went with that for the center stripe. Then at the bottom, whole bottom panel is going to be a very dark black. Not sure how well that's going to hold up as far as staying clean, but I like the idea of the color, so that's kind of what I want to go with. Black, then yellow, and then we're going to go with kind of a light gray for the top panel. The ceiling, I'm going to stick with a white just because really don't want to sacrifice any lighting. I know the walls are already going to kind of hinder that a little bit, but the ceiling, if you go with a dark color, that really screws you up. So we're still gonna go with just a really nice white color for the ceiling. But already, yeah, it's coming together, guys. Just getting everything prepped was probably some of the most effort because there was a lot of stuff that had to be pulled off the walls, holes that had to be patched, just getting everything prepped for paint. So we are getting there though. So it's now day 3, guys. We've finished the walls, so you can clearly see what the color scheme is. And now all we got left to do is the ceiling for this bay, of course. So we got to take care of all this damage here, get that ready for paint. More there. Tape everything off, finish painting the ceiling white, and then we can start putting all this back together. Well, we've basically finally wrapped up the whole paint and redesign project here in the shop. We still got all of the less fun garden, whatever type tools right there hung up, but got that painted, looking a lot better. Got a nice kind of detailing rack there with a lot of different sprays and waxes, your wheel cleaners, all that type of stuff kind of set up there. Still more improvements to be made. And then you come over here, of course, we got all the signs hung back up. It's a shame that my toolboxes don't match, but really don't care, because unless Matco or Snap-on or somebody that makes the green boxes or something of that type wants to sponsor me, I am not spending the money because these boxes work perfectly fine. The benches are still a little cluttered at the moment. I got to go through and finish putting away some of this stuff. That toolbox is kind of cluttered. But otherwise, everything is really set up pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. I ended up hanging in my old junky stereo underneath there. Still sounds perfectly fine, so I really don't have any reason to replace it, but hung it up there, got it off the wall, because it used to be hanging on the end of the wall right here, and I had the 2 speakers on either side of it, and it looked like absolute trash. Now you can see I've got the speakers mounted in either corner. Wasn't really much I could do with the speaker wire unless I really wanted to get into routing it through the walls, which I didn't really want to do. So I don't think it looks too terrible. Ended up using some double-sided sticky tape and kind of got it up there, and it looks pretty decent. I will say this flag is definitely super looking out of place with being the bright blue and everything. I do have another one coming that's exact same pattern and everything, but it's just in black instead, and I think that'll look a little bit better. This is basically my Mustang wall, kind of what I was going for here. So got a lot of my die-cast cars, the cool ones anyway. of my Mustangs up there, and then got the flag. Of course, the sled. A lot of people think that painted the wall to match the sled. That isn't really the case. It's more that those are just all colors that I really like, which is why I put them on my sled when I designed the wrap for that as well. So it's kind of what I went with for the shop also. Then coming over here, before I used to have all these cars just kind of stacked up, but ended up building a shelf underneath this beam, which this beam here used to be just plain wood, and now you can see it's painted black. So built a shelf underneath there, was able to get all of my larger die-cast cars put up there. So yeah, it turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it, guys. The floor I am going to paint probably this summer, just once things get warmed up a little bit and I can put more stuff outside. There still is quite a bit of snow on the ground, so not really wanting to throw everything out in the middle of a snowbank so it gets all melty, and it's just that nasty breakup time of year. But eventually I'll get this floor painted. Not entirely sure what I want to go with yet. I kind of want to do some type of epoxy coating that'll last pretty well. My wife parks her Jeep in here in the winter and she's got studded tires, so I'm gonna have to figure out something with that because that's gonna absolutely tear up any type of paint that I put down. But other than that, I think we made really good progress. I'm really happy with how things turned out. It's definitely big improvements and a lot of progress. That's about it for this one, guys. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I don't know if this is something that everybody's gonna be interested in, but just kinda wanna give everybody an update on what we got going on in here. I think videos will look a lot nicer too being filmed in here with not having brownish white paint. So we'll see you in the next one, guys.